Tim Petrowich here for Dateline Marion, and our guest is Marion head football coach Kerry Martin. And you know, we do this every year. We start the season, we go through it, and we get to week 9, and we go, man, I can't believe it's week 9 already. But I can't believe it's week 9 already.
Yeah, it's been exciting. It's been a fun ride, and it just seems to go fast. But I think, you know, when you look back at certain ball games, and it just once it gets rolling, it goes quick. And been, like I said, a lot of exciting close games. I think that adds to the season going fast. I think when you're successful, the season tends to go faster than when you're not successful. So I think that's part of it too. But been a good year, and I'm proud of the kids, how strong they finished, and hopefully we can finish the regular season with one more strong showing.
Well, I think if you go back to the end of week 4, you would have said, man, I can't believe this season's going so slow. You know, 2-2, and even though you showed some signs in that Cahokia game we talked about, it really started clicking after that. Offensively and now even defensively, the defense has started to step up as well. And so you've really done what you want to do as a coach, and that's improved from week to week.
Yeah, well, that's right. And you want to finish strong. You want to finish playing your best football, and you want to be able to, you know, get to a certain level at the end of the season. And I think we've worked our way to that with a rough beginning, but I still believe that rough beginning came with, you know, some stuff going on off the field, and with a young, inexperienced offensive line and a defense that was still had a lot of new faces on it. And I just think the puzzle pieces were there, but they weren't put together right. And I think the coaching staff has, I think, really adjusted to what the skill sets of these individuals, kids are, and found what they can do well. And I think if we just put those pieces together and taking care of some things at practice every day, and I think we're practicing better as a team, and game plans have come together. Kids have stayed fairly healthy up to this point. We're probably healthier now than we've been in a long time, and hopefully we can ride that into the playoffs.
Let's talk about last Friday's game. Important game for a lot of reasons. You played Carbondale at Carbondale. You won that game 32-19. Clinched the outright South 7 Conference Championship, which you need a little help, which you got from Althoff. But even so, you'd have shared by winning that game. You also clinched an automatic berth in the playoffs, and those are 2 of your goals, and we talked about that last week, right. Accomplishing 2 big things in one win.
Yeah, it was a big win. There was a lot riding on it. You know, we didn't beat around the bush and, you know, try to hide it from the kids. They knew it was a big ball game. They knew what the ramifications were of, you know, leaving a legacy. With each class leaves some type of legacy at the school, and their legacy could have been a continuation of a playoff run of 9 years, a continuation of a conference championship, which, you know, are tough to come by. And that senior class, along with the team of 2013, could leave a heck of a legacy. With just one win, they could establish 2 very important parts of that. And we talked to them after the game that we were proud, congratulations, it's a great achievement, but it's not over with. You know, we still have other goals to achieve.
Sure.
But that's 2 big ones in one night. And it was nice to be able to do it against a rival, against a good football team. Had a lot of skilled kids that were dangerous, and I thought our kids put together another good defensive performance.
And you had the opportunity to make that game even more lopsided than it was. First drive, you're marching down the field and mishandle a snap. A little bit later on in the first quarter, second quarter, fumbled a punt that they got and got good field position. You could have done a lot more things and possibly really blown that game open early too.
Yeah, we had opportunities to do it, you know, and even on one of their touchdown drives, I think we had a pass interference penalty and a face mask penalty, and we seem to be giving them second and third chances, and they're a good team, and they capitalized on that, and you can't give good football teams those kinds of opportunities, or they will hurt you. But I thought overall we battled through some adversity, we got through some obstacles, we got over some turnovers and made some plays, and I think most of all the kids are playing together. Even when something bad happens, they're not dwelling on that. They're focusing on what we need to do to fix it, and we made some nice adjustments, I think, in the second half, and our kids did a nice job.
Probably one of the big turning points of the game. Tied 6-6 in the second quarter. Carbondale's driving down the field. They've got a 1st and goal inside the 10.
Right.
You got a couple big plays to push them back a little bit, but all of a sudden it's 4th and goal at the 1.
Yeah.
You stop them about 6 inches or 8 inches from the goal line.
Yeah.
Okay, so you stopped them on 4th down. Your backs are pinned up against the wall. Mitch gets a couple yards on the first carry. all of a sudden you run that little counter out of the Orange offense, and there goes Jared Doris for 81 yards.
Yeah.
And now you're set up and you score in 4 plays. You went 99.9 yards in 4 plays in a little more than a minute. Big momentum swing.
It was. The game turned at that point, and you don't know if the outcome was determined by that, but I think the momentum changed. I think the energy level on our sidelines changed. Big Mo, I think, joined our sideline for much of the game after that, and that was a huge defensive stand at a very tough time with a very good offense poised inside the 10-yard line with 4 downs, and then the big run by Jared set up a lot of things for us. I think, but those are the kinds of plays that we weren't making early in the year that we were getting. We're getting now, and Jared seems to do that every week now. Find a way to weasel his way through there for a long run and make a big play, and that's 2 weeks in a row, and it couldn't happen at a better time. You
ran the ball for all but 3 plays. You had 3 passing plays. By the way, 3 for 3 for 35 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Effective passing plays, but you ran the ball for 450 yards. Mitch Bartle had a huge game, just shy of 250 yards. But you got 90-plus yards from Jared. You got 60 yards from Tyrone Maples. You got just a lot of running. You were able to run the ball very well.
We did. It was similar to a few other games we've had in the past where that change of pace became the main offense, and it happens on occasion, and there wasn't anything against our passing game. We felt like we could throw the ball if we had to, and we were, as you said, 3 for 3 for a touchdown, but we got rolling. We were trying to keep some of their offensive weapons off the field. They had a top receiver in Southern Illinois, a top 5 rusher, and the number 1 passer in Southern Illinois. And we wanted to keep them off the field. We felt like our offense could be a great defense for us as well. And so we went to it early. It seemed to work. When it didn't work, we felt like it was something we did, not something they did. And we just stayed in it. We felt good about it. We felt like plays were there. So we just stayed in it the whole ball game. And other than a few series, I thought it worked really well for us.
Well, this week, Friday night, final game of the regular season, final home game, senior night, Gold Rush night, a lot of big things. You play a Normandy, Missouri team that I didn't get their results from last week. I know they were 2-5 going into their game last week against Poplar Bluff. Very similar in a lot of ways to last year in the way the season unfolded, and I understand that Normandy's kind of a similar team. A lot of athletic players, a lot of speed, but they give up a lot of points, and so could be another high-scoring game.
It could be, and they're very, very talented. I watching them on film. They've got a couple of players that are athletically as good as anybody we've seen all year. They've got an inside linebacker, not a very big kid, 5'10", 165, but he is one of the leading tacklers in the St. Louis Metro East area, and he's all over the field. I mean, he'll be a handful. They can make plays. They got a good return game, one of the top kickoff returners in that area, coming out of the St. Louis area, plays for Normandy. They've got some weapons. They've got a fast tailback, got a quarterback that can throw it around. But their record's not very good. But they're a dangerous opponent. But they've got some skill. They got some big kids. They got some good size, and it's interesting. They're much better on film than their record indicates. But the struggles they've had really come on defense, where they play people tough, and they tend to give up some points. I think later on in the game, second half kind of points. So it'll be a challenge. We've got to play well to win. There's no doubt about it. And hopefully senior night will be that motivating factor and Gold Rush night, and we want to finish here on a high note at our home field. We're not guaranteed any more home games, so we want to look well in front of the home fans.
They had a back last year. Unfortunately, he's graduated, but they've got some athletes there. I think 71, 81 yards and a 51-yard run. He broke off 3 long runs early in the game and really gave them a lot of momentum. But then, like you said, as the game wore on, you were steady and wound up pulling away at the end.
I think they've got very few numbers this year. I think their numbers are down, and I think that probably hurts them later in the game when they've got a lot of two-way players that kind of wear down, and we want to make sure we try to take advantage of that a little bit. But they, as I said, we have a lot of respect for them. They're a talented group. They'll come and play. They play hard. In every film I've seen, they're getting after it, and they'll come here, and I'm sure they'll give us a good ball game, which, as waiting for those playoffs to start, a good challenge won't hurt us a bit. We need to see this kind of athleticism and talent, and it'll be good for us to adapt and have to make some plays and stay on blocks and do the things that good football teams have to do to be successful.
Here's another eerie similarity to last year, or maybe not so eerie, I don't know, but you're going against this Normandy team after your featured back comes up with a 200-yard game, and now the next week, last year, Henry set a school record for yards in a game.
Yeah.
Here's Mitch, 250-yard game last week, and he's really been running the ball well.
He has, on the offensive line, and Mitch and Tyrone and Jared Doris and John Dalton, and our running game has really progressed to a level that I don't think any of us expected. We hoped, but didn't maybe necessarily expect, and that's made us a better football team. We were afraid we were going to be a throw it 40 times a game kind of team, and kind of one-dimensional kind of team, but love when you get proved wrong, and it's wonderful. We hoped we could be a good run game football team and have the balance that you and I have talked about so often, but lately it's been more of the run, and like I said, we're not married to one system or throwing or running. We're just here to win ball games, and whatever we think is to our advantage to do that night, we're going to do, and sometimes we don't know until the game starts, but we plan on coming out in both our spread and our change of pace offense, and we'll dabble in both until we find out what works best.
All right, the Normandy Vikings are here on Friday night, last game of the regular season. 7 o'clock game time. Look forward to seeing you Friday.
Sounds good.
All right, that's Coach Martin of the Marion Wildcats. For Dateline Marion, I'm Tim Petrowich.